Close your eyes and breathe gently. Tonight, we journey into the forgotten corners of ancient time, where sacred women stood at the heart of mystery, prayer, and devotion. Across deserts, temples, forests, and starlit shrines, divine women shaped rituals that guided whole civilizations. Let us drift slowly through these stories, not as heavy lessons but as soft echoes. These are not tales of fear or judgment, but of reverence and wonder. Each chapter is a lantern in the night, glowing with memories of priestesses, goddesses, and mothers of the soul. Allow your spirit to rest as we wander together through 3 hours of ancient cults and divine women, told like lullabies of the past. If this story comforts you, let me know where you are listening from tonight. And if these voices of the past bring you peace, you may choose to subscribe so you can return here whenever you need rest. The night is gentle. The air is cool, almost weightless, like silk brushing against the skin. Somewhere far away, a temple rises. Its pillars are white as moonlight, tall as trees reaching toward the stars. The walls do not speak with voices of stone, but they hold the memory of many prayers, breathed out by those who once stood here. You step closer in silence. The ground is smooth marble, cold beneath bare feet. A single flame flickers at the temple's heart, steady and golden, casting long shadows across carved walls. This is not a place of noise or haste. It is a place where time itself slows, where the air carries hymns that never fade. Listen. There is a whisper, soft as falling water. It is not one voice, but many. The prayers of women who gathered here long ago, their words carried on the breath of night. Each syllable is like the flutter of wings, rising, circling, fading, and returning again. The temple is alive with memory. Candles burn low along the altar. Clay bowls hold offerings, grains, flowers, and drops of sweet oil. Each gift is small, yet every gesture is full, brimming with quiet devotion. The women who brought them believed the smallest act could reach the divine. And so the temple whispers, always whispering, as if the stones themselves remember. You drift further inside. The ceiling is high, painted with stars. Not the stars of the sky above, but golden ones pressed into the dark surface, shimmering with eternal light. It feels as though you are standing beneath 2 skies, one above, one within, and between them you are held gently, like a dream suspended between waking and sleep. At the center of the hall stands a great fire basin. Its flames do not roar. They sway slowly, like dancers moving with care, their orange glow folding into the silence. This flame was tended by women day and night, their steps soft, their hands steady. They gave their lives to keep it alive. It was more than fire. It was the spirit of the world, a light that must never fade. Imagine them now. Women robed in linen and wool, hair braided and crowned with simple bands of bronze. Their feet move across stone in patterns learned from mothers and grandmothers. They know where to step, when to pause, how to pour the oil so the fire sighs but never dies. Their voices rise in hymns, low, steady, carried like wind through the columns. The song is simple. It is not sung to impress but to soothe, to honor, to remind the soul of its place in the vast circle of life. The notes travel upward, touching the golden stars painted above. Then slowly they fall back down, settling on your shoulders like a soft shawl. You feel safe beneath their song. You feel as though the night itself is cradling you. Beyond the fire, statues stand in the shadows. Some are of goddesses, carved with flowing robes and serene faces. Others are nameless figures, women carved from stone, guardians of mysteries lost to time. Their eyes are closed, yet it feels as though they see everything, your breath, your heartbeat, your quiet wonder. The temple does not demand. It welcomes. It asks for nothing but stillness, and in that stillness, it gives everything. Comfort, rest, the soft reminder that you are not alone. You are part of a great, endless circle, the same circle the women knew when they lit the fires and sang to the stars. Step into the inner court. Here, the floor opens to the sky. Moonlight pours down, silver and pure, onto stone that has been kissed by countless nights. You hear the rustle of leaves from sacred groves outside the temple walls. You hear the hush of water in the distance, a stream that has flowed since before memory began. All sounds here are gentle, woven together like threads of a lullaby. The women gather in the moonlit court. They hold bowls of water drawn from sacred springs. They sprinkle it upon the stones, tracing circles, blessing the place again and again. Their gestures are slow, reverent, like waves touching the shore. Every movement is prayer. Every glance upward is connection. They sing once more. This time the hymn is softer, as though meant for the stars alone. They call upon the night, upon the unseen forces that cradle the world. Not for power, not for wealth, but for balance, for peace, for the well-being of all who breathe beneath the heavens. The temple walls hold their voices. The marble absorbs them. And even now, though centuries may pass, you can hear them, soft echoes that rise when the world grows quiet. They are not gone. They are here, in the stillness, in the fire's glow, in the very air you breathe. Rest within their song. Notice how the body feels heavier, calmer, as though every bone has remembered the way back to peace. Notice how the mind drifts slower and slower, like a leaf on still water. The women's whispers become the water itself, carrying you gently downstream, where there is no effort, no burden, only the quiet pulse of life. The night deepens. The stars above the temple shimmer more brightly. Their light blends with the golden stars painted upon the ceiling until sky and roof seem to dissolve into one endless tapestry. It is hard to tell where heaven ends and earth begins. Perhaps there is no edge at all. Perhaps you are already within it. The fire burns on. The women bow their heads. Some close their eyes and stand silent, listening to the wind as though it too is part of the hymn. Others move softly, tending candles, placing flowers, straightening offerings. Every task is sacred. Every breath is devotion. Feel the rhythm of their service. It is not rushed. It is not strained. It moves like the tide, steady, certain, eternal. And within this rhythm, you find your own rest. The heart slows. The mind quiets. The spirit opens. The temple whispers to you now, not in words, but in feelings. It says, you are safe. It says, you are held. It says, you may release all weight, for the night is vast and the divine watches gently. You sit by the flame. Its warmth kisses your skin. Its glow flickers across your face. The voices of the women circle you, not as strangers, but as ancient friends who have always been here, waiting. Their prayers include you even now. Even across time, you belong to their circle. The air grows still. The hymn fades to silence. Only the crackle of fire remains, steady, soft, a lullaby of light. Above, the moon drifts higher. Clouds move like drifting veils, revealing and concealing the stars. The temple breathes with the night, and you breathe with the temple. Let the quiet hold you. Let the whispers wrap around you. Like a blanket of sound, they keep you warm, they keep you calm. Here, in this ancient place, you are not hurried, not judged, not lost. You are only resting, only listening, only drifting. The women move toward the shadows. One by one, they bow their heads, and the flame continues without them. The temple remains alive, eternal, whispering its song to anyone who listens. And tonight, that someone is you. Close your eyes within the temple. Feel the smooth marble beneath you. Feel the warmth of the fire, the coolness of the moonlight, the gentleness of unseen hands guiding you into peace. The whispers soften, becoming part of your own breath. And as your body sinks deeper into rest, the temple stands around you, silent, eternal, waiting. Now, drift onward. The temple remains, glowing, whispering, holding you in its quiet arms. The fire never dies. The prayers never end. The night is endless, and you are safe within it. Rest. Rest as the stars return. The night is wide and quiet. The sky above is a black canvas brushed with silver. The moon rises slowly, round and glowing, as if it has been poured from a vessel of light. Its pale beams stretch across the earth, touching stone, touching water, touching you. Somewhere, not far in the dream of time, there is a clearing. A sacred circle rests there, ringed with trees whose leaves shimmer under the moonlight. The branches sway softly in the night wind, whispering secrets only the stars can hear. In the center of this circle, women gather. They are dressed in flowing robes of white, their hair loose and shining like threads of silver. They are the priestesses of the moon. Their steps are quiet, almost weightless. They move in patterns known not by thought, but by memory older than memory itself. Every gesture belongs to the rhythm of the sky above them. They are mirrors of the moon, living reflections of her soft, gentle glow. The fire in the center of the circle is low, glowing like an ember. It does not fight the moonlight. Instead, it hums quietly, a warm companion to the silver beams. Smoke rises in delicate strands, curling upward until it vanishes into the dark sky. The priestesses watch the smoke, reading it as one might read a dream. They see stories there, of seasons turning, of lives unfolding, of spirits moving between worlds. The moon is not only a light in the sky. It is a clock, a guide, a teacher. Its cycles mark the flow of rivers and tides. It marks the turning of wombs, the growth of seed into stalk, the mystery of birth and renewal. The priestesses know these rhythms. They carry them in their bodies, in their breath, in their songs. Listen, their voices rise together, soft and steady. They chant not in words meant to be understood, but in sounds meant to be felt. The tones are deep and slow, like waves rolling onto a quiet shore. They hum with the pulse of the earth itself, steady as a heartbeat, calming as a cradle song. The women lift their hands to the sky. Fingers spread, palms open, they let the moonlight fall into their skin. They believe the light is not only for the eyes, it is for the spirit. To bathe in the moon is to remember that everything passes and everything returns. Like the moon, life waxes and wanes, but never truly disappears. One priestess steps forward. Her robe moves like water around her ankles. She begins to dance. Her arms flow like rivers. Her feet barely touch the earth. She spins slowly, like the moon moving through the heavens, steady, eternal. The others join her. Together they create a circle, bodies weaving in and out, shadows crossing the ground like waves of light. The dance is not hurried. It is not for the eyes of a crowd. It is for the moon and for the earth and for the stars that lean down to watch. Every step honors the unseen cycle. Every breath honors the mystery of birth, growth, and return. Look closely. As they move, the ground itself seems to breathe. The grass bends as if bowing. The earth hums beneath bare feet. Even the trees lean in, listening, as though the whole world is drawn into the circle. There is no separation between priestess, sky, and soil. All is one, moving gently in the rhythm of the moon. They pause, kneeling together. From clay bowls they scatter seeds across the earth. Each seed is small, but each carries the promise of life. They whisper blessings as they place them in the soil, trusting the moon to guide their growth. The act is simple, yet sacred. The smallest seed under the gaze of the moon becomes part of the great mystery. Now they pour water from vessels carved of stone. The water glitters in the moonlight, falling in silver streams onto the earth. The soil drinks deeply, sighing beneath the touch. In this way, the priestesses weave balance: earth, water, seed, and light. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing is left unseen. Their chant begins again, low, tender, almost like the sound of bees in a summer meadow. The song drifts through the clearing, carried by the night wind. It rises into the branches, slips between the stars, and rests upon the surface of the moon. The moon listens, and in silence it answers with its glow. To the priestesses, the moon is not distant. It is not a cold stone in the sky. It is alive. It is a mother, a guide, a mirror. It shows them that darkness and light are never enemies. They are parts of the same circle, flowing into each other, always returning, always whole. The dance slows. The women gather again around the small fire. They sit in stillness, hands resting upon their knees, eyes lifted to the sky. The moon shines upon their faces, softening their features until they look almost like statues carved of light. They are listening again, not to the world around them, but to the world within. For the moon is also the keeper of dreams. It governs the hidden places of the mind, where symbols grow like gardens and visions flow like rivers. The priestesses know this. They close their eyes, breathing slowly, allowing dreams to come even while awake. Visions drift across their inner sight, of oceans rising, of children born, of fields heavy with harvest. All is shown gently, like pictures painted with silver brushstrokes. The fire fades lower. The smoke drifts thinner. The night deepens into quiet, yet the presence of the moon grows stronger, brighter, as though it leans closer to touch the circle with its hand of light. The priestesses bow their heads. They whisper final prayers, words soft as feathers. Prayers for the earth, for the people, for the cycles that turn without end. The clearing is still. The trees no longer sway. Even the wind has grown calm, as if it too listens to the silence that follows. Only the moon remains steady, patient, watching with endless care, and you rest here too. The glow of the moon falls over you, wrapping you in its gentle silver. The chants echo softly in your mind, fading, yet lingering like the aftertaste of sweet honey. Your breath slows. Your body grows heavy. Your spirit feels light. The priestesses remain, seated in stillness, their robes glowing faintly. They do not move. They do not need to, for the moon will move for them, carrying its light across the sky, carrying its cycles through time, carrying its quiet wisdom into every heart that listens. Rest here. Let the silver light wash over you. Let the dance of the priestesses continue within your dreams. They have shown you the rhythm of the moon, the soft pulse of life, the eternal return. There is nothing to chase, nothing to hold, only the circle, only the peace of knowing all things flow and all things return. The night grows deeper, the moon drifts higher, and you drift with it, upward, inward, into calm. The circle closes around you, safe and endless. Now rest. Let the moonlight cradle you. Let the song of the priestesses carry you into dreams. And when you awaken, the moon will still be there, shining, whispering, waiting. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. The night drifts onward. The stars turn slowly above the world, steady in their quiet rhythm. And now, in the heart of an ancient city, another light glows. One not born of moon or star, but of human care. It is a flame that has never been allowed to die. Marble walls rise around it, strong and white. Tall columns stand like silent guardians, their tops crowned with carved leaves. This is a temple unlike any other. It is not for war. It is not for kings. It is for fire, the eternal fire of Rome. Step closer. The air carries the scent of smoke, soft and clean, mixed with the faint perfume of oil poured long ago. The glow of the flame spreads across the smooth stone floor, painting shadows that sway like dancers. The hall is silent, yet alive. Alive with the warmth of devotion. Alive with the breath of those who once kept this fire steady. They were the Vestal Virgins, chosen as children, raised in purity, devoted not to one life, but to a flame. For them, this was not a burden. It was an honor, a calling whispered by the gods, a life woven into the destiny of Rome itself. Imagine them now, young women in white robes, their hair bound with simple ribbons. Their steps are careful, each movement guided by centuries of ritual. They approach the hearth with reverence, carrying small bowls of sacred oil. The oil glistens like liquid amber in the firelight. With steady hands, they pour it onto the flame, and the fire answers with a gentle sigh. The flame is not wild. It does not roar or leap. It breathes. It whispers. It glows with the patience of eternity. And the women who tend it glow as well, their faces bathed in golden light, their eyes calm and watchful. In the stillness, the city outside seems far away. The noise of markets, the clang of iron, the shouts of soldiers, none of these reach the temple. Here only silence dwells. Here the only voice is the flame. The Vestals believed that as long as the fire lived, the city would live. The flame was more than light. It was Rome's heart. It was the breath of the goddess Vesta, protector of home and hearth. To let it die would be to let the city itself wither. So they kept it alive. Day and night, season after season, year after year. Picture the temple at dawn. The first rays of the sun creep across the marble, touching the columns with pale gold. The city stirs outside, carts rolling, footsteps echoing on cobblestones. But inside the temple, the fire is already awake. It has burned through the night, tended by careful hands. The Vestals rise with the sun, their white robes catching the light, their faces serene as they greet the living flame. Now, picture it at night. The city sleeps. Torches dim in the streets, shadows deepen in the alleys. But in the temple, the fire still glows. Its light spills gently onto the stone floor, soft as a lullaby. The Vestals sit nearby, silent, listening to its quiet crackle. For them, this is the sound of eternity. They know the fire is more than fire. It is a circle. Like the sun, it rises and falls, but never disappears. Like the moon, it wanes and waxes, yet always returns. Like life itself, it flickers and bends, but continues, carried forward by unseen hands. One priestess kneels closer. Her eyes close, her breath slows. She does not speak, yet her silence is prayer enough. She feels the warmth on her face, and in it, she feels the presence of something greater. The flame is not only before her, it is within her. It is within every home that carries fire, every heart that carries light. Sometimes, when the fire grew low, they would use sacred wood, branches of oak, gathered with ritual, dried in the sun, blessed before being placed upon the flame. The sparks would leap upward, dancing like golden birds. The Vestals would watch quietly, their eyes reflecting the glow. To them, the sparks were not accidents. They were signs, messages from the goddess herself. Their devotion was steady, yet gentle. They did not hurry. They did not push. Like the flame, they endured with patience, moving at the pace of eternity. In their stillness, the restless world found balance. In their silence, the noisy empire found peace. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine sitting near the sacred hearth. The fire warms your skin, yet it is not harsh. The shadows sway around you, soft and slow, like waves of light across the sea. The marble beneath you is cool, grounding you, steadying you. You hear only the quiet crackle of flame. It is the heartbeat of the world. The Vestal's service was long, stretching through decades of their lives, but in each moment their task was simple. Tend the flame, keep it alive, and in that simplicity they found peace. There was no need to chase power or fame. The flame itself was enough. At times, festivals would fill the temple with life. Citizens would gather outside, flowers strewn across the steps, offerings left at the doors. But within, the Vestals remained steady. They tended the hearth with the same quiet care, as though the city outside did not exist. The world might roar and shift, but the flame would not. It was the anchor, the center, the circle that held all things together. Now the temple grows quiet again. The visitors are gone. The night deepens, and the fire continues, glowing softly, waiting to be tended. The Vestals watch, their eyes heavy, yet their devotion stronger than sleep. They sit with the flame as one might sit with a child, never leaving, always guarding. Outside, Rome may be restless, but inside all is calm, all is steady. The flame burns on, a thread of gold weaving through time, connecting day to night, season to season, life to life. And you, too, may rest here. Feel the warmth on your face. Feel the stillness settle into your bones. You are not asked to keep the fire. You are only asked to sit beside it, to let its light comfort you, to let its glow remind you that life, too, endures. The Vestals remain, watching with calm eyes. Their devotion is endless, their service eternal. They are guardians not only of fire, but of balance, of purity, of peace. Through them, the city rests. Through them, the world remembers the power of a single, steady flame. Now the night grows deeper still. The fire glows lower, softer, yet it does not fade. It rests like you, but it does not vanish. It waits, patient, eternal. The priestesses lean close, their robes brushing the stone, their faces calm in the glow. They whisper final prayers, and the flame answers with its quiet breath. Let the image rest within you now. The temple silent and strong, the flame steady and golden. The priestesses calm and devoted, all held in balance, all held in peace. Drift with them. Let the fire warm your dreams. Let the silence cradle you. For like the sacred flame, your own light will never truly fade. It rests, it softens, it glows, always waiting to rise again. Now let us drift onward. The guardians remain at their hearth. The flame burns eternal. And the stars above return, patient and bright, to guide you into sleep. The night deepens. The stars lean close, their silver reflections trembling on quiet waters. A warm breeze drifts across the land, carrying the faint scent of reeds and lotus. Far away, the Nile winds through the darkness, a ribbon of life that has never ceased to flow. Its surface shimmers beneath the moon, soft as silk, endless as memory. In this sacred river valley, temples rise like dreams from the earth. Their walls are carved with stories, painted with colors that still glow, even after centuries. Candles flicker in small shrines. The air hums with low chants, slow and deep, moving like the river itself. This is Egypt, the land of Isis, mother of magic, mother of healing, mother of tears. Step into her temple. The stone is cool beneath your feet, smooth from countless prayers whispered in the dark. Torches line the walls, their flames bending gently with the rhythm of the night air. Ahead, a tall statue of the goddess waits, carved with hands both strong and kind. Upon her head rests the solar crown, and in her arms she cradles the child Horus, forever safe, forever guarded. Isis was not only a queen among gods. She was the mother of comfort, the voice of hope, the one who listened to the cries of the grieving. Her stories are woven with loss, yet also with unending devotion. For when her beloved Osiris was taken and scattered, she did not abandon him. She searched the world, piece by piece, gathering him with patient love. Through her magic, through her tears, she gave him new life. And through this act, she taught mortals that love endures even beyond death. Imagine the priestesses of Isis moving softly in white linen robes. Their steps are slow, their voices calm, carrying chants that sound like flowing water. Each word drifts into the air, rising like smoke, like prayer, like the wings of a dove. They sing for the sick, they sing for the sorrowful. They sing for the souls who have left their bodies and must now cross the great unseen river. The sound is gentle, yet it carries far. It moves through the temple, through the open courtyards, through the reeds at the water's edge. Even the Nile seems to listen. Its surface ripples with moonlight, as though the river itself were swaying to their song. The grieving come here with heavy hearts. They bring offerings of flowers, jars of oil, bread and honey. They kneel before Isis, whispering the names of loved ones who have gone beyond. The priestesses lay soft hands upon their shoulders. No words of explanation are needed. Only the warmth of presence, only the echo of chants that promise comfort, that the soul is not lost, that the journey continues, that love holds fast like the current of the Nile. Listen now to the river. It flows northward, slow but eternal, carrying life to every field it touches. The people believe it is guided by the goddess's own breath. Just as the Nile feeds the land, Isis feeds the spirit. Just as the river knows no end, the soul, too, knows no ending. Some nights the full moon would rise above the horizon, casting silver light across the water. The priestesses would gather on the riverbanks, their white robes glowing faintly in the dark. They carried sistrums, sacred rattles made of bronze. As they shook them, the sound was soft, like rain on stone, like wind through reeds. It was said, this sound pleased the goddess, easing sorrow, calling peace into restless hearts. Close your eyes, and you may hear it now, the slow rhythm of sistrums, the low hum of chants, the distant whisper of the river flowing without pause. All these sounds weave together into a lullaby, a song of passage, a hymn for the living and the dead alike. Isis was known not only for her magic, but for her tenderness. She healed the broken, she guarded children. She gave strength to women in childbirth and courage to men on their journeys. Her presence was like the moonlight itself, gentle, silver, unyielding in its constancy. Wherever grief was heavy, she was said to be near, her unseen hand resting softly upon the heart. In the temples, sacred oils were prepared for healing. The priestesses mixed herbs with honey and resin, their scents rising like incense. They anointed the sick with slow movements, whispering prayers as they worked. Every touch was a blessing. Every word was a thread of comfort, woven into the spirit of the one who lay before them. The grieving, too, found peace here. They sat in the shadow of tall columns, listening to the chants. Their tears fell, but slowly, gently, like rain feeding the earth. They knew that their loved ones were not lost, but guided by Isis, carried by the river of night, received by Osiris in the halls beyond. And so the chants continued. Night after night, season after season, the voices of the priestesses became like the pulse of the land itself, always steady, always soft, always reminding the people that love is stronger than loss. Picture yourself beside the Nile. The air is warm, the stars endless. The water glimmers with a silver path, leading into forever. You hear the chants rising and falling like waves. You feel the comfort of a hand upon your shoulder, as though the goddess herself has turned her gaze toward you. There is no fear here, only peace, only the gentle truth that all journeys flow onward, like the river. Sometimes the temple bells would sound deep and slow, their tones carried across the fields, across the sleeping villages, across the river itself. Even those far away could hear them, and in hearing they felt comfort. It was a reminder that the goddess was near, that even in the quiet of night, they were not alone. The story of Isis is the story of devotion. She did not let death silence love. She did not let despair darken her spirit. Through her patience, through her endless search, she showed that nothing is ever truly lost. What is broken may be gathered. What has ended may be renewed. What has passed may still be guided, cherished, remembered. Now let the image soften within you, the temple glowing with torchlight, the statue of Isis, tall and calm, her arms forever cradling, the priestesses singing, their voices low and steady, the Nile flowing without end, its waters glimmering under the moon. Breathe with it, slowly, gently, like the river. Let the chants become your lullaby. Let the silver moonlight become your blanket. You are safe. You are held. You are carried forward, always by unseen hands. And as the night stretches long, the chants fade softer, like distant waves. The torches dim, the temple grows still. The river whispers its eternal song. And Isis remains, the mother of healing, the mother of sorrow, the mother of comfort. Now rest as the Nile flows onward. Now drift as the stars return. Now sleep as the goddess watches. The night is quiet. Above the mountains, the stars shimmer like scattered silver dust. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of pine and wild herbs. Somewhere far below, a spring murmurs, its waters flowing over ancient stones. The land is hushed, as though listening. High upon the slopes of Mount Parnassus, a temple rises in the moonlight. Its marble columns glow pale and soft, touched by the breath of night. This is Delphi, the navel of the world, the sacred place where heaven and earth meet. Here, the voice of the divine once spoke through women chosen to become vessels of prophecy. Here, the Pythia whispered the language of fate. Step gently into the temple. The stone floor is cool beneath your feet, polished smooth by centuries of pilgrims. Torches flicker along the walls, their flames dancing slowly, casting shadows that sway like soft curtains. The air carries a faint fragrance, a mixture of laurel leaves and rising smoke. From the innermost chamber, a low hum can be heard. Prayers, soft as wind through reeds. At the heart of the temple rests the sacred tripod, a golden seat balanced above the earth's breath. It is said that from deep within the mountain, vapors rise, carrying the essence of the divine. Here the oracle, the Pythia, sits in stillness. Her body sways gently, her lips murmuring words half heard, half dreamed. She does not speak with her own voice, but with the voice of Apollo, the god of light and harmony. Kings and travelers once came from far lands to hear her. They carried gifts, they carried questions, they carried the weight of choices. Would their journeys bring victory or sorrow? Would their kingdoms flourish or fall? They waited in silence, hearts trembling, as the oracle's voice drifted into the air. But listen more closely. The words are not always commands or warnings. They are streams flowing like rivers, winding and gentle. Beneath the surface, they carry symbols, like pebbles beneath clear water. Her voice is not only for kings. It is for every soul who listens, every wanderer upon life's road. Imagine her now, a woman draped in white, her hair crowned with a wreath of laurel. She breathes in the sacred air, her eyes half closed, her voice rising and falling like waves upon a shore. Sometimes her speech is quick, like rushing water. Sometimes it is slow, like the drifting of clouds. Every sound seems touched by something beyond human measure. To the listener, the oracle's words are both a mystery and a comfort, for she speaks not only of what is to come, but of the deeper truth, that life itself is a flowing river. Its course cannot be held, yet it nourishes all it touches. Every choice, every path, is but a stream that leads to the vast sea of destiny. The pilgrims who came to Delphi often left with more than answers. They left with peace, for in the voice of the Pythia, they heard not just prophecy, but reassurance, that they were not alone, that the gods watched and cared, guiding them as gently as the moonlight guides the traveler by night. Close your eyes and feel the temple around you. The marble columns rise like trees in a quiet forest. The air is heavy with stillness, yet alive with something unseen. The oracle's murmur drifts through the air, soft and dreamlike. It is less a command than a lullaby, less a decree than a song. Her voice blends with the mountain itself, the whisper of wind in the pines, the trickle of water from the sacred spring, the faint crackle of torches. All sounds become one, carrying you deeper into calm, deeper into rest. The myths say that Apollo claimed Delphi as his own, slaying the serpent that guarded its springs. Yet the serpent never truly vanished. It lives on in memory, in the deep earth, in the quiet power that rises through the stones. Some say the serpent's spirit joined with the oracle's breath, giving her words their depth. For prophecy is not only light, it is the weaving of shadow and flame, silence and sound. The priestesses who served Apollo cared for the oracle with devotion. They guided her into trance with chants and hymns. They offered laurel leaves and poured libations of water and wine. Their songs were soft, rising and falling like the tides of the sea. To sit within the temple was to sit within music itself, a harmony of voices, of earth, of air. And so the oracle spoke. Not once, not twice, but through countless years. Through wars, through peace, through the rising and falling of empires, her voice continued, even as the world outside shifted like sand. Within the temple, the same rhythm endured. The breath, the murmur, the prophecy. Picture the pilgrims leaving the temple. Some carried clear answers, others carried riddles, yet all carried a sense of wonder of having touched the edge of something eternal. The words, whether clear or veiled, lived on in their hearts. They became like seeds, growing slowly, quietly, guiding their steps in ways unseen. For destiny, like the river, does not always reveal its full course at once. It winds, it bends, it hides among valleys and cliffs, but always it flows onward. Always it leads to the sea. Now let the scene soften. The torches dim. The oracle's voice grows faint, like a dream fading with dawn. The temple grows still, its stones resting beneath the stars. The mountain breathes, quiet and eternal. You drift with it, carried by the sound of murmurs like ripples across water, carried by the glow of torches like stars within stone walls, carried by the breath of the earth itself, rising softly, endlessly. The voices of Delphi remain, not as commands, not as fears, but as gentle reminders that you are guided, that you are held. That destiny flows like a river, and you float upon its current. Now let your breath match the mountain. Slow, steady, soft as night air. The temple fades. The stars return. The river of destiny flows onward, and you rest within it. Safe, silent, eternal. The night opens like a gentle hand, unfolding a quiet dream. You find yourself once more in the soft hush of ancient time. The air is cool, touched with the scent of rain and earth. Above, a sky of silver stars glimmers, each one steady, each one patient. A moon, wide and glowing, rests low upon the horizon, bathing the land in pale light. In the distance, a circle of stones rises from the meadow. Their shadows stretch long, like watchful guardians. It is here, at the heart of the old world, where the Earth Mothers are honored. Their shrines are simple, not temples of gold or carved marble, but fields, forests, and caves where offerings of flowers and grain are left in gratitude. The earth itself is their altar, the soil their robe, the harvest their crown. Long ago, before the voices of kings and cities grew loud, the people of the earth turned to her as mother. They saw in her patience the promise of growth, in her silence the steady turning of seasons. When the rivers swelled, they whispered of her breath. When the fields blossomed, they sang of her blessing. Women, with hands soft from tending, carried bowls of fruit and bread to the sacred places. They knelt upon the ground and pressed their foreheads to the soil. They murmured words of thanks, simple as the rising sun, for every seed that sprouted, for every child that thrived. The circle of life was traced back to her, the one who gives without asking, who nourishes without end. You drift closer to the circle of stones. Torches glow faintly at their base. The air carries the scent of herbs and smoke. A gathering has begun, quiet and tender. Women walk slowly in rhythm with the earth's pulse, their steps almost like a heartbeat upon the grass. Each holds a basket filled with offerings. Barley, apples, honey, wildflowers gathered at dawn. They place them at the center, upon a woven mat of reeds. The mat lies upon the soil, for all gifts return to her embrace. There is no rush, no loud command. Only the gentle murmur of voices rising and falling like wind in the trees. A lullaby for the earth sung under the moon. The elder among them speaks softly. Her voice carries the weight of many seasons, yet it trembles with kindness. She does not speak of power or conquest. Her words flow like water. Mother of all, who turns winter to spring, who turns seed to fruit, who turns sorrow to comfort, receive these gifts and hold us in your endless arms. The women bow their heads. They touch the ground with their fingertips, feeling the coolness of the soil. They remember their mothers and their mothers before them, stretching back into the deep river of time. Every birth, every harvest, every meal at the hearth, all of it drawn from her, the endless circle. A hush falls over the meadow. The stars brighten, as though listening. The moon glides higher, silver upon silver. And in this quiet, the earth seems to breathe back. The grasses sway in a tender rhythm. The torches flicker with sudden softness. The ground itself hums with hidden life, unseen roots whispering beneath the surface. It is said that in these moments, the Earth Mothers appear, Not in form, but in presence. They are felt as warmth in the chest, as a calm in the mind, as a tear that falls without sorrow. Their circle is not bound by stone, but by love, stretching beyond sight, wrapping the world. The women begin to sing. Their voices are low, steady, and round. The melody has no sharp edge, no hurried step. It drifts like mist across the meadow. It carries images of rivers shining in sunlight, of fields heavy with grain, of children laughing at dawn. The song is simple, yet it holds the whole earth in its gentle cradle. You feel it touch you too, as though the sound weaves around your own breath. It invites you into the circle, not as stranger, not as guest, but as child of the same soil. For all who breathe, who eat, who walk upon the ground, belong to her embrace. The firelight grows softer. A bowl of milk is poured upon the earth. Honey drips from clay jars. Flowers are laid, their petals shining with dew. The offerings blend into the soil, becoming part of her endless body. Nothing is lost. All returns. This is her promise and her mystery. The elder raises her arms to the sky, but her eyes remain on the earth. Her gesture is not of reaching upward, but of calling balance. Sky above, soil below, breath between. All things joined in one circle. Her words drift again, gentle as rain. As the seed returns, as the flower fades, as the child grows, so we return to you, O Mother. In you, all cycles are safe. The women step back and sit upon the grass. They form a circle around the offerings, their bodies mirroring the stones, their hearts mirroring the stars. They lean against one another, shoulders touching. The air grows still, holding them in silence. The earth is listening, the night is listening, and so they rest. No command is needed, no rule is spoken. The circle itself holds them as the earth holds all. You feel your own breath matching this rhythm, slow, even, peaceful. The ground beneath you is steady. The stars above are constant. The voices of the Earth Mothers linger, soft as lullabies. Their teaching is not written in books. It is not hidden in temples. It lives in the soil, in the sprouting seed, in the gentle turning of the moon. It is a truth that asks nothing but patience and gives everything in return. The night deepens. The torches burn low. One by one, the women drift into sleep, their heads resting upon the earth. The offerings gleam faintly in the moonlight until even they fade into shadow. Yet the presence remains, tender and vast. It whispers that nothing ends. Every leaf that falls becomes soil. Every seed that sleeps becomes harvest. Every breath released becomes the wind that stirs another's chest. The circle holds all. Now you too may rest within it. Let the earth cradle you as it cradles the roots and the rivers. Let your breath flow like the tide, steady and calm. Let your heart soften as though pressed against warm soil. The Earth Mothers sing still, though their voices are now like distant stars, faint but eternal. They remind you that you are safe, that you belong, that you are part of the circle. So let us drift onward as the night folds its wings. Let us rest as the stars return, and let the circle of the Earth Mothers hold you, in silence, in peace, in endless care. Night stretches across the endless grasslands, wide and silent as a sea. The horizon glows faintly with the last blush of twilight. The earth is cool, the wind gentle, carrying the scent of smoke and wild sage. Above, a sky of countless stars opens, vast and eternal. Each star flickers like a watchful eye, like the heartbeat of an ancestor lingering close. At the center of the steppe, a fire burns low. Around it, shadows move in rhythm, soft and steady. Women gather in a circle, their forms cloaked in furs and woven cloth, their faces painted with quiet symbols. They are the shamans, the keepers of the songs, the bridges between the seen and the unseen. Their voices rise, not loud, but deep, humming with the pulse of the earth itself. The drum begins. Its sound is not hurried, not harsh. A slow beat, steady as footsteps upon the soil, steady as the heart within the chest. Boom, boom, boom. The sound flows outward, echoing into the night, touching the tall grasses, the waiting stars, the sleeping animals in their dens. The women close their eyes. They sway gently, their breath joining the rhythm. They whisper words old as the wind, words not of command, but of welcome, calling to the spirits of sky and river, calling to the ancestors who walk beyond the veil of sight. The firelight glows upon their faces, revealing calm, revealing trust. For the shamanic women know that the worlds are not apart. They are layers of one cloth. The living, the dead, the stars, the winds, the rivers, all threads woven together in a single endless pattern. A voice rises, clear as a bird at dawn. It sings of the eagle, whose wings stretch over mountain and plain. The eagle carries the prayers of the people, lifting them beyond the clouds, beyond the sun. Another voice answers, singing of the deer, soft-hooved and gentle, who guides souls along hidden paths, through forests of shadow into meadows of light. The circle sways. The drums continue. The women's chants are not only heard with the ears, they are felt in the bones, in the breath, in the ground itself. It is said the earth listens most closely when women sing, for their voices carry both the sorrow of birth and the joy of life, joined in one sound, one offering. The flames shift, glowing blue at their edges. Sparks lift like tiny stars into the sky, and for a moment the line between heaven and earth seems thin, fragile, almost open. The women's whispers grow softer, more dreamlike, as if the fire itself were speaking through them. One calls to the ancestors. Her words float upward, riding the smoke. Come, grandmothers, come, grandfathers, sit with us tonight. Taste the honey, taste the bread. Rest in our firelight once more. Another calls to the winds. Carry our song, O breath of the plains. Circle the herds, circle the children. Let no harm pass beneath your wings. And another, youngest of the circle, sings to the stars. Her voice trembles, but it is pure like a silver thread. Shine upon us, O lights of the far sky. Guide our feet through the dark fields. Be lanterns for our dreams. The night deepens. The drums slow but never stop. Each beat is a reminder. You are alive. You are here. You are part of the great rhythm. Boom, boom, boom! You feel it too in the quiet of your chest. Your breath matches the drum. Your heart softens into its calm pace. The rhythm carries you, like a river carries a small boat, gently and without resistance. The shamanic women lift their hands to the sky. Their palms glow with firelight. Their fingers trace patterns in the air. These are signs, gestures passed down for generations, ways of speaking to spirits without words. Each movement is slow, fluid, shaped by love and memory. The eldest among them, her hair silver as frost, begins a story, not with words alone, but with chant, with hum, with the steady sound of her drum. She tells of the first mother who laid her body upon the empty plain. Her breath became the wind. Her hair became the rivers. Her bones the mountains, and her heartbeat became the drum, echoing forever in every living chest. The circle listens, their eyes half closed, their bodies swaying. For the story is not only heard, it is lived. Each breath of wind across the grass is the first mother's breath. Each flicker of flame is her memory. Each star in the sky is her watchful eye. The women's voices rise together once more. Now they sing of protection, their tones weaving like threads into one fabric. They call for the herds to be safe in the night. They call for the children to sleep without fear. They call for the hunters to walk with strong steps, guided by ancestors unseen. Their chant becomes softer, flowing like a lullaby. The drums ease, steady as a cradle's sway. The fire burns low, warm and steady. The sky above is endless but close, as though it bends down to listen. The shamanic women rest their drums upon the earth, their palms spread against the soil, feeling its coolness. They lean forward, pressing their foreheads to the ground. It is a gesture of trust, of belonging. For the earth is not only the place they stand, it is their mother, their teacher, their final home. They whisper once more, voices faint as the rustle of grass. We give thanks. We are your children. Hold us in your embrace. A stillness follows, deep and complete. Only the crackle of the fire remains. Only the stars, endless and watchful, shining like the eyes of ancestors. You breathe with the silence. The story rests within you now, gentle as a dream. The shamanic songs linger, like soft threads weaving through your mind. The drums echo faintly, not outside, but within. A reminder of the rhythm that guides all life. You are part of it, too. The wind that brushes your cheek.
The star that glimmers above.
The ground steady beneath you. All are part of the same song. All are safe within the same embrace. The fire fades to embers. The women close their eyes. Their heads bow, their breaths deepen. The night cradles them as it cradles you. Now let the drums fade into your own heartbeat. Let the songs dissolve into the stars. Let the voices of the shamanic women guide you into rest, gentle and unbroken. Let us drift onward, as the winds soften. Let us rest as the ancestors watch. Now sleep as the stars return, bright and eternal, above the quiet steppe. The night over the Andes is wide and still. High peaks glow faintly in silver, their crowns kissed by stars. The air is thin yet clear, carrying the hush of eternity. Below the towering mountains, a sacred house rests in silence. Its walls are shaped of smooth stone, fitted so perfectly that not even the wind can slip through the cracks. Here, the daughters of the sun sleep lightly, waiting for dawn. They are called the Akla, the chosen ones, the virgins of the sun. Their breath is soft, like drifting feathers, their dreams held gently within the hands of Inti, the radiant god of light. They are keepers of fire, makers of sacred cloth, singers of golden prayers. Every sunrise they rise with the light, carrying the warmth of the sun not only in their offerings, but in their quiet devotion. As the stars shimmer in the last hours of darkness, a faint sound stirs. It is the rustle of woven garments, the soft padding of bare feet across polished floors. One by one, the young women awaken. They wrap themselves in white robes, simple but pure, woven from the soft wool of the Vaikanya, shimmering faintly in starlight. Outside, the mountain air is cool and sharp, yet their steps are steady, guided by memory, guided by rhythm. They walk together in silence toward the high courtyard that opens to the east. There an altar waits, cold and still in the night, yet ready to blaze with the first touch of morning. The sky above begins to pale, a thin line of silver unfolding over the jagged horizon. The hush deepens. Even the birds hold their voices, waiting. The Akala bow their heads. The eldest among them lifts her hands, her fingers delicate yet strong, palms open to the sleeping sky. The first ray comes. It spills over the mountain ridge, golden and soft, washing stone and earth in light. The altar glows as if awakened. The women lift their faces, their closed eyes glowing in the warmth. They whisper their prayer together, their voices low and flowing, like a single stream of water. O Inti, Father of all, Shining One who rises, bless the land, warm the seed, guide the people. Your light is our breath, your fire our strength. We walk in your glow forever. The words float upward, carried by the growing warmth. They join the light itself, dissolving into the vastness of the sky. A golden vessel filled with maize beer rests upon the altar. It is lifted, hands steady, then poured slowly upon the ground. The earth drinks the offering with quiet hunger. The soil, sacred and alive, is fed by this gift, and through it, the people are fed. The women bow again, their foreheads touching the cool stone. They give thanks, not only to the sun, but to the earth that holds his light. When the prayer is done, the day unfolds gently. Some of the Akla return to their weaving. In shaded rooms, they sit before looms, fingers patient, creating cloth as fine as breath. Thread by thread, patterns emerge. Suns, rivers, stars, and fields. Each design is a prayer in itself, a symbol of harmony, a memory woven into fabric. The cloth will dress the statues of the gods, or cloak the emperor, or wrap the bodies of the sacred dead. Others tend to the fires. Flames glow in golden bowls, never allowed to fade. The fire is the breath of Inti, his spark upon the earth. To keep it alive is to keep the world alive. The women feed it with dry wood, whispering blessings as the flames flicker and curl. Their faces glow in the light, as if kissed by the god himself. At midday the sun is high, its light fierce and pure. The women step into the courtyard once more, not to pray with words, but with silence. They stand still, eyes closed, letting the warmth pour over them. The sun fills their skin, their blood, their breath. They carry it inward into the hidden spaces of their hearts, so that even when night returns, the sun will not be gone. It will burn softly within them, a golden ember of peace. The Inca world is vast, stretching from coast to jungle to mountain. Yet in every place the sun is the same. Farmers look upward as they plant seeds, trusting the light to guide their growth. Children raise their arms, laughing in the warmth. Warriors step forward, steady and proud, their faces painted with rays. And always in the quiet houses of the virgins the songs continue, steady as breath. They are the heart of devotion. They are the steady hands that keep the golden thread unbroken. They do not seek power nor glory. They are keepers of balance, ensuring that every dawn is welcomed, every gift is returned, every cycle is complete. As the afternoon softens, shadows stretch across the stones. The air cools once more. The women gather in their circle, seated upon woven mats. Their voices rise again, this time in song. It is not loud nor urgent. It is steady, calm, like the sun itself. They sing of Inti's journey, from the eastern gate of the sky to the western horizon. They sing of his golden chariot, drawn by radiant horses. They sing of the moon, his sister, who follows with silver steps, carrying coolness where his heat has passed. Their song drifts upward, weaving with the mountain winds. Birds circle above, their wings glinting like sparks of light. The mountains echo faintly, as if the stones themselves hum along. The evening comes, quiet and soft. The last rays of light pour gently across the courtyard. The altar glows once more, touched by sunset. The women bow deeply, their robes brushing the stone. They whisper their closing prayer. O Inti, you who set in fire, rest well. Cross the hidden path, return to us. Carry our love through the night and rise again with golden joy. The sky deepens into violet. The stars awaken, shy at first, then countless. The moon lifts her pale face above the mountains, silver and calm. The fire continues to glow, warm and alive. The women rest, their bodies still, their hearts steady, for they know the sun will rise again. The cycle is eternal, the gift unbroken. Their prayers are part of that endless rhythm, soft as a breath, steady as a heartbeat. Now, let the vision of the mountains remain with you. See the high peaks, silver in starlight. See the altar, glowing faintly in the night. See the daughters of the sun, their faces calm, their voices soft, their devotion radiant. The drums of day have quieted. The chants have softened. Only the stars remain, only the moon, only the fire's last glow. Let us drift onward, carried by the golden memory of light. Let us rest as the sun sets and prepares to rise again. Now sleep as the stars return, as the daughters of the sun keep watch, steady and serene, in the heart of the mountains. The night is gentle. The stars lean low, resting on the shoulders of the earth. Moonlight drapes itself across hills and valleys, soft as woven silk. In the stillness of the world, a spring flows. Its voice is quiet, steady, like a whisper meant only for those who listen. By this spring stands a woman. Her robe is white, its hem brushing the grass. Her hair catches the moonlight like threads of silver. She is a priestess of the waters, guardian of flow, keeper of silence. Her eyes are calm, deep as the spring itself. She waits, as her mothers waited, as countless women before her waited. The waters move, the stars shine, and the world breathes. The spring is not only water. It is memory, dream, and promise. It is the breath of the earth, rising from hidden caverns, carrying the voice of stone. The priestess knows this. She does not drink in haste, nor touch in carelessness. She bows first, her forehead near the surface, and the ripples answer with circles of light. Beside her rests a clay vessel, simple and round. She lifts it with quiet strength. Inside is an offering: crushed maize, leaves of coca, and petals of soft flowers gathered at dawn. One by one she scatters them upon the water. The petals drift, glowing pale upon the current. The maize sinks slowly, golden in the dark pool. The leaves sway like small boats, carrying prayers unseen. The offering is not lost. The water carries it, accepts it, turns it into blessing. The spring flows into the river into the valleys into the sea. What is given here does not end here. It spreads outward, a quiet thread of renewal, weaving through all life. The priestess speaks softly. Her words are not for people, but for the water itself. She calls it mother. She calls it sister. She calls it healer. Her voice is steady, like the flow of the current. It is said that water remembers every word, every song, every tear. All are kept in its endless stream, carried to the sea and returned with the rain. She lowers her hands into the spring. The coolness wraps her fingers, a touch both tender and ancient. She feels the pulse of the earth beneath. It is slow, vast, unending, like the heartbeat of a being older than the mountains, kinder than the wind. The story of the priestesses of water is long. Across many lands, women once stood by rivers, wells, and springs. They were called guardians, healers, daughters of the source. Their task was not heavy nor loud. It was simple. They watched. They blessed. They listened. In Greece, maidens carried pitchers to the holy fountains. In Egypt, women poured milk and honey into the Nile. In the lands of the Celts, priestesses laid branches upon sacred wells, whispering prayers to the Lady of the Waters. Everywhere the same truth flowed. Water gives life, and in return, life must give gratitude. The priestess at the spring knows this. Her hands release. Her heart softens. The flow carries all things away. The moon climbs higher. Its reflection trembles in the spring, a silver coin laid upon dark glass. The priestess lights a small lamp. Its flame flickers, warm against the cool night. She sets it upon the water. The lamp floats, steady, drifting with the ripples. This is the ritual of light. The fire, a gift of the sun, meets the water, a gift of the earth. Together they travel, carrying balance into the world. One bright, one cool. One steady, one flowing. The lamp glides onward out of the spring into the river beyond. The priestess watches until it disappears, a star moving upon the earth instead of the sky. In her silence, she remembers the teachings. Water is more than element. It is spirit. It is the bridge between worlds, carrying souls from birth to death, from life to dream. Babes are bathed in it, bodies return to it, temples washed by it. To touch it is to be touched by eternity. She breathes deeply. The sound of the water is her lullaby. The cool night air is her cloak. The moon above is her witness. She is not alone, for the water is never alone. It holds every prayer, every song, every offering given across the ages. The river of memory flows without end. Beyond the spring, the river moves through forests and fields. It passes farmers who bend low, washing their hands before planting seed. It passes travelers who kneel, cupping cool water to their lips. It passes children who laugh, splashing in its shallow edges. Each one, knowingly or not, touches the gift the priestess has blessed. The maize, the flowers, the whispered prayers, all flow within the stream, quiet, unseen, but present. When the time is right, the priestess lifts her vessel again. This time she dips it into the spring, filling it with water. She holds it against her chest, as if cradling a child. The vessel is heavy, but her arms do not tremble. She carries it carefully, step by step, to the altar near the grove. There she pours the water into a shallow bowl of stone. The bowl gleams under the moonlight, its surface trembling with light. Here she leaves it. For the sick who may come tomorrow, for the weary traveler who may need healing, for the children who will drink and grow. This is her gift. Not words alone, not petals or leaves, but the water itself, blessed by devotion, touched by love. The night deepens. The forest grows still. Only the flow of the spring continues, eternal, unbroken. The priestess sits at its edge, her robe gathered neatly, her hands folded in her lap. Her eyes drift closed. She listens to the endless song. It is the song of falling rain, the song of melting snow, the song of rivers meeting the sea, the song of clouds forming, heavy with promise, the song of water rising again, circling back to the beginning. It is the song of renewal, the song of eternity. Her breathing slows, her body rests, yet her spirit feels light, as if carried by the current itself. The spring holds her, as it has held countless before her. Her grandmothers, their grandmothers, all the women who bowed before waters. Their prayers flow still, mingled with hers. The stars above shimmer, mirrored in the rippling surface. The moon leans lower, casting a silver path upon the stream. The world seems smaller, gentler, as if wrapped in a quiet hand. The priestess rises once more. She bows deeply to the spring, her robe brushing the earth. Her voice is low, almost a whisper, almost a breath. Silent waters, endless friend. You heal, you carry, you renew. Take what we give, return what we need. Forever we honor you. Her words fall like drops, vanishing into the current. But the water remembers. It carries her prayer, mingled with petals and light, into the great weaving of the world. She turns, her steps slow, her lamp in hand. The grove fades into shadows. The spring flows on unending. Now let this vision rest within you. See the silver moon on the water. See the petals drifting, the lamp floating, the ripples moving outward. Hear the soft song of the spring, steady as breath, endless as time. You are near it still. You feel its coolness, its calm. It blesses you as it blesses all. It carries you gently without end. Let us drift onward as the priestess drifts into silence. Let us rest as the waters flow eternal. Now sleep, as the stars return, as the rivers dream, as the world breathes in quiet renewal. The night opens like a soft curtain. The air is still yet filled with whispers. Above, the stars glow faint as if listening. The moon hangs low, a silver lantern, spilling gentle light upon the earth. At the edge of a forest, shadows deepen, branches lean inward, and a hidden clearing waits. It is the grove, sacred, timeless, wrapped in the breath of leaves. Step closer. The air grows sweet with resin and earth. The trunks of oak rise like pillars, ancient and steady. Laurel leaves shimmer softly when touched by the night wind. The ground is soft with moss, sprinkled with fallen leaves. Every sound is hushed, every step muffled. It is a place set apart, where silence itself feels alive. And within this grove, they gather. The priestesses of old, daughters of Greece, daughters of the Celts, women who carry songs in their breath and prayers in their movements. They do not speak, for words are not needed here. They move, they dance. The dance begins slowly. One woman steps forward, her robe pale as mist. She raises her arms, and the branches above sway as if answering her. Her body turns, her feet trace a circle on the moss. The others follow, forming a ring, moving in rhythm with the wind. The grove becomes a living temple. Their dance is not for eyes, nor for applause. It is for the earth, it is for the trees, whose roots drink deep waters below. It is for the winds, who carry seeds and rain across the world. It is for the unseen, the spirits who rest in bark and branch, in stream and stone. Each step is a prayer. Each turn is an offering. Each gesture is a thread in the weaving of devotion. In Greece, the laurel is sacred to Apollo. It speaks of light, of prophecy, of music. The priestesses crown themselves with its branches, letting the leaves brush their brows. As they dance, the rustling sound joins the rhythm, soft and steady, like a hidden drum. In the Celtic lands, the oak is king, strong, ancient, unbroken by storm. Its groves are the heart of worship, its shade the place of gathering. To dance beneath the oak is to honor endurance, strength, and the turning of seasons. And so the women move. Between oak and laurel, between strength and vision, between earth and sky, the circle grows tighter. Their robes ripple with motion, pale against the dark trees. Their hair flows free, touched by moonlight. Their breath rises in unison, quiet but strong. It is as if the grove itself is breathing with them. The wind stirs, branches sway, leaves fall like soft rain drifting into the circle. The priestesses tilt their faces upward, arms open, receiving what the night offers. The leaves brush their shoulders, cling to their robes, then fall again to the moss. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. Even a leaf becomes a blessing in this dance. Their feet beat softly against the earth. Not loud, not forceful, only a murmur, a gentle thrum, like a heartbeat beneath the soil. The rhythm spreads outward, through the roots, through the streams, through the sleeping fields beyond. The earth hears, and the earth answers. A hush falls deeper. The stars above seem brighter now, gathered close. The moonlight thickens, spilling like silver dust. The grove glows faintly, as if the boundary between worlds is thinner here. The dance continues, slower now, like waves easing to shore. There is no leader. No one commands. They listen always to the trees. The sound of the oak leaves, broad and deep. The song of the laurel, light and quick. The rhythm of wind weaving between branches. It is this music that guides them. They bow low. They rise, arms lifted high. They turn, their robes spiraling around them. The circle breathes, opens, closes, always returning to stillness before beginning again. Each dancer holds a candle in her hand. The flames flicker, golden against the night. As they move, the lights sway in a gentle ring. From afar, it would seem like stars had descended into the grove, moving in harmony with the women. Light above, light below, mirrored in stillness. The meaning of the dance is simple, yet endless. It is thanksgiving for harvest, a welcome for spring. It is prayer for rain, prayer for peace. It is memory of ancestors, honor for spirits. It is breath made visible, devotion made motion, no one speaks. There is no sermon, no book, no command. Only rhythm, only breath, only the soft voices of leaves and wind guiding each step. In Celtic tales, it was said that dancing in the grove aligned the body with the wheel of the seasons. Each turn mirrored the turning of the year. Spring into summer, summer into autumn, autumn into winter, winter into spring. The dance was the year itself, embodied. In Greece, the priestesses moved in circles as offerings to harmony. For Apollo, god of light and order, the circle was perfection. The dancers became living symbols of balance. The body, the earth, the heavens. all moving together in one slow spiral. And here, in the sacred grove, both truths meet. The wheel of time, the circle of harmony. The dancers hold both, in silence, in movement. The night grows deep. The candles burn lower, flames swaying with each turn. Their faces glow, serene and timeless. Their steps grow slower, like the slowing of a heartbeat as sleep comes. The circle loosens. The rhythm fades. The dance becomes stillness. One by one, they lower their candles to the earth. They place them upon roots, upon stones beside fallen leaves. The grove is dotted with small flames, like stars resting on the forest floor. The priestesses bow their heads, their breath soft. They have spoken without words, given without hands. Now the grove holds their prayers, resting in silence. The wind softens. The branches sway less. The stars begin to pale in the east. The first hint of dawn trembles at the horizon, though the night still lingers. The priestesses sit upon the moss, robes pooling around them. Their hands rest open upon their knees. Their eyes close. The grove grows still. All is calm. All is at peace. They do not wait for the sun. The dance is complete. The prayer is given. The grove itself will carry their devotion onward into the waking day. And now you may rest within this vision. See the grove, its circle of trees. See the women moving, arms raised, robes flowing, candles glowing. Hear the soft beat of their feet, the whisper of leaves above. Feel the quiet rhythm, steady as a lullaby. The dance does not end. It continues in memory, in dream. The circle is eternal, like the turning of seasons, like the rising and setting of the moon. Let us drift onward now, carried by the rhythm of silence. Let us rest, as the dancers rest, beneath the oak and laurel. Now sleep, as the stars return, as the candles fade, as the sacred grove holds its endless breath. Night deepens, and the world becomes quieter still. The stars open their silver eyes above the earth, and a cool wind drifts like a gentle river through the trees. You find yourself once more in the hush of the ancient dream world, where memory and myth weave together as one. Here, in the folds of time, the stories of sacred women rise like moonlight through mist, slow and unhurried, carrying the heart toward calm. Tonight, the path leads into shadowed groves and stone sanctuaries, where a shape coils at the edge of firelight. It is the serpent, silent, gliding, and eternal, and around it the mothers gather, women who once moved with grace between worlds, holding the secret of renewal in their soft hands. They are the serpent mothers, priestesses, guardians, keepers of wisdom that circles like the seasons themselves. The serpent was never only an animal in their eyes, it was a thread of eternity winding through soil, water, and sky. When it shed its skin, smooth and shining, the women whispered prayers of rebirth, for they saw in that glistening cast-off shell a promise that life renews itself, that endings fall away, and that beneath every layer waits another chance to begin again. In the lands of Crete, among the stone halls of the Minoans, the figure of the snake goddess rose in painted fresco and carved clay. Her arms lifted, serpents curling upward from her palms, their tongues tasting the unseen winds. She was not feared. She was not struck down. She was honored, her gaze serene, her body crowned with patterns of earth and sky. The women who followed her carried baskets of grain and small jars of honey, placing them where serpents slid softly among the rocks. To feed them was to feed the mystery itself. In the dusk of Celtic groves, oak roots curled deep beneath the soil, and serpents were seen as children of the Earth Mother. Their winding shapes spoke of the rivers that carved valleys, of the hidden veins of water that nourished the roots. The women of the tribes carried charms carved in spiral shapes, like coiled serpents resting in eternal circles. Each curve whispered of life without end, of movement without loss. Picture the women now, gathering at twilight. Their hair falls loose, catching the glow of torches. Their robes brush the soil, soft and simple. In the center of the grove, a circle is drawn, not sharp, but flowing, like the serpent's path. Here they begin their slow ritual. One bends low to scatter herbs, sage, myrtle, crushed laurel. Another holds a clay vessel from which wine drips onto the roots of an oak. Their movements are unhurried, almost dreamlike, as though they have stepped out of time. And always, in their chants and their gestures, the image of the serpent coils and uncoils. To them it is wisdom. To them it is protection. To them it is the mother's breath returning through every season. The air shimmers with stillness. The women sway gently, their bodies mirroring the winding patterns of the earth's creatures. Their voices rise, not loud but soft, a lull of tone like river water flowing over smooth stones. Their words are less about meaning than about rhythm. Long flowing syllables, circling, circling, circling. The sound moves like a serpent itself, winding through the grove, sliding into the quiet night. The serpent has always carried many faces. In the temples of Mesopotamia, it curled as Ningishzida, guardian of the underworld, whose name meant Lord of the Good Tree. He was both guide and protector, a serpent rising between two dragons, a symbol of healing and safe passage. In India, serpents appeared as nagas, shining beings dwelling in waters and beneath roots, keepers of treasures and wisdom. Their coils were said to encircle the very earth itself. Everywhere the serpent wound itself around the stories of life and death, always returning, always circling back. For the mothers, the serpent was never a threat, but a promise, a soft reminder that change was not to be feared, that just as the serpent sheds what no longer belongs, so too can the spirit shed its heavy skins. The women carried this truth into their daily lives. When children were born, the women placed serpent symbols near the cradle to bless the new life with renewal. When the seasons turned and fields grew quiet, they traced serpent spirals in the soil, calling for the return of green. When sickness visited, they whispered serpent prayers, imagining the coiling energy of the creature moving through the body, loosening knots of pain, bringing the patient into balance again. Imagine, now, a single woman within the grove. She kneels in the half-light, her hand resting upon the earth. Before her, a serpent slides gently from shadow, its scales shining with moonlight. She does not flinch. Her breathing slows to match its pace. The creature winds near her arm, then curls into stillness, resting like a living bracelet. For her, this is not a meeting of woman and beast, but of two beings who share the same ancient rhythm. Both born of earth, both moving in cycles, both silent teachers of patience and return. She lifts her gaze to the sky, where stars shine like scattered seeds. In their endless circle, she sees the same truth as in the serpent. The universe too coils and uncoils, expanding and folding, never ending, never lost. Her lips move in a whisper, not to call, not to ask, but simply to honor. The serpent rests. The woman breathes. The night listens. Across ages, the symbol traveled. In Egypt, the serpent wrapped itself around the brow of queens and gods, rising as the Uraeus, protector of sacred life. Its hood flared like a crown, reminding all that wisdom must stand close to power. In Greece, the rod of Asclepius bore a serpent twined along its length, healing through its sacred spiral. The priestesses of Delphi, seated above the fissure of earth, breathed the vapors of the deep and spoke with the rhythm of serpentine vision. Wherever it moved, the serpent carried both fear and reverence. Yet in the hands of the mothers, fear was dissolved. They saw only the gentleness beneath. For them, the serpent's tongue was a compass of spirit. Its movement was the weaving of fate. Its resting coil was the womb of the world. And so they danced slowly beneath the trees, circling as the serpent circles. Round and round, without beginning, without end. The fire burns lower. The grove is cloaked in midnight blue. Still the women move, their shadows long against the trunks of oaks. They are not hurried. They do not tire. For this dance is not of the body alone, but of the soul's memory. It is the memory of rivers winding to the sea. It is the memory of vines curling upward to light. It is the memory of the first breath, and of every breath that follows. In the stillness between their steps, you can feel it too. The quiet wisdom that coils through the world. The soft teaching of change. The patient whisper of renewal. The serpent mothers cradle it gently, like a flame that must never be lost. And as you listen, you too are held within their circle. Now the grove fades. The fire turns to embers. The women's voices dim into the hush of leaves. The serpents retreat into roots and shadow, carrying their secrets into the soil once more. The night folds itself around you like a blanket, and all is calm. The mothers step back into silence, their figures dissolving into memory, yet their wisdom lingers, soft and steady. A truth without edge, a rhythm without end. The serpent rests in the deep places of the earth. It waits, patient and still, for the turning of seasons, for the shedding of skins, for the return of beginnings. So too does the spirit rest now, quiet and untroubled, wrapped in the gentle circle of time. Let the breath fall slow. Let the stars draw their silent spirals above. Let the night cradle you in its arms, as the serpent mothers once did. And now, let us drift onward, into the endless coil of dreams. where beginnings and endings meet, and all is softly renewed. The night is wide, and the desert stretches beneath it like a sea of quiet gold. The stars lean low, shimmering above the endless sands. A gentle wind carries the breath of coolness, brushing over dunes that roll like waves, smooth and endless. In this stillness, the desert opens a doorway not made of stone or wood, but of silence itself. And within this silence live the memories of those who sought its embrace. They were women who walked far from the crowded cities, who stepped into the barren vastness with hearts open to mystery. They are remembered as the Desert Mothers. The desert has always been a place of paradox. It seems empty, yet it is full. It looks barren, yet it nourishes the spirit. To the outer eye, it holds little, only rock, wind, and sand. But to the inner eye, it holds everything, a vast mirror reflecting the soul back to itself. The Desert Mothers entered this mirror, and within it, they found presence, stillness, and divine nearness. Imagine them at dawn, when the horizon glows with pale rose light. Their forms move quietly, wrapped in simple cloth, their sandals pressing gentle marks into the sand. Each step is measured, unhurried, as though the earth itself is guiding them. They carry little, perhaps a clay jug for water, perhaps a small basket of dates, but more than anything, they carry silence. It clings to them as closely as their robes. When they stop, they bow their heads and sit upon the ground. The desert spreads wide in every direction. No walls, no roofs, no barriers between their hearts and the open sky. Here they let their breath fall into rhythm with the wind. Here their prayers rise without words, like soft smoke curling upward into the stars. The Desert Mothers believed the silence was not empty at all. They believed it was alive. Each grain of sand carried memory. Each gust of wind carried a whisper of the eternal. The vastness around them was a teacher, and they listened to it with patience. When storms swept across the dunes, they listened to the voice of power. When stillness settled deep, they listened to the voice of peace. They found the sacred hidden in both. Stories say they lived in caves or small huts of clay, their homes blending into the desert's quiet face. Some lived alone, others in small circles of companionship, their hearts bound by shared devotion. They were not queens or warriors, not famous in the ways the world often remembers, yet their presence became like an oasis, a well of wisdom in the dry air of time. Travelers who passed through spoke of women who lived simply, who spoke with gentleness, who carried the desert stillness in their eyes. Picture one of them now, resting at twilight. The sun has lowered into a pool of crimson, leaving the sky painted with amber and violet. She sits at the mouth of her cave, her hands folded upon her lap. A lamp flickers beside her, its flame small yet steady, like a star caught upon the earth. Her gaze drifts toward the horizon, yet her eyes see more than distance. They see inward, into the quiet chamber of her spirit. She breathes slowly. The silence around her is deep yet not heavy. It feels like water surrounding her, cool and gentle. Within it, she senses the presence she came here to find. Not through speech, not through thought, but through stillness. The presence arrives like nightfall, soft, all-encompassing, filling everything without effort. Her lips do not move, yet prayer flows. It flows like the desert wind, without beginning, without end. Her prayer is not asking, not pleading. It is resting. It is trust. It is simply being side by side with the eternal. In the deserts of Egypt and Syria, their names were whispered with respect. Amma Syncletica, who spoke of the soul's fire as a lamp that must be tended. Amma Sarah, who lived beside the Nile, her strength matched only by her humility. Amma Theodora, who taught that patience was stronger than walls of stone. Each carried her wisdom not in scrolls or speeches, but in her way of being. Their silence was their book. Their prayer was their teaching. Their presence was their gift. The Desert Mothers saw the human heart like a wide open field. Within it, weeds could grow, anger, pride, restlessness, but within it too, seeds of light could blossom. Gentleness, patience, love. In the silence, they tended this inner field. They pulled the weeds with care. They watered the seeds with quiet devotion. And slowly, the field bore fruit. The fruit was not for themselves alone. It was for all who came to them, seeking rest, seeking guidance, seeking a taste of the stillness they had found. Night in the desert was a time of deep wonder. The air cooled, and the sands shone pale under the moon. The heavens opened wide, and stars spilled across the sky like a river of light. The desert mothers lifted their eyes and felt the universe folding close. In those moments, the boundary between earth and heaven seemed thin, like a veil of silk. They felt themselves woven into the great tapestry, one thread among countless others, shining, quiet, complete. Their prayers at night were like lullabies. They did not cry out or chant loudly. Their voices were whispers, shaped by the rhythm of breath. Sometimes words, sometimes only hums that blended with the desert wind. Each sound rose like incense, drifting upward, dissolving into the endless sky. There were times of hardship too. Heat pressed upon them, thirst lingered, and storms tore across the land. Yet even in this they saw a lesson. For the desert, like the soul, was not always calm. It could be fierce, it could be restless, but through endurance, through patience, peace returned again. They believed the soul, like the sand, could be reshaped by the winds of time. What seemed harsh could polish the heart until it shone like crystal beneath the sun. When pilgrims came seeking guidance, the desert mothers spoke few words, but the words they offered were simple and clear, like water poured into a clay cup. Sit in your cell, and your cell will teach you. Silence is the mother of prayer. The soul is like a lamp. Do not let the wind of distraction put it out. Their wisdom was plain, yet it carried the depth of mountains. It was not meant to dazzle the mind, but to rest in the heart. Picture again the vast desert under moonlight. A woman kneels upon the sand, her hands pressed to the earth. Her shadow stretches long, her robe a ripple in the night air. The wind moves across the dunes, singing a song of patience. She listens, her eyes closed, her heart quiet. She feels herself part of this great silence, neither apart from it nor lost within it. She is the silence itself. Through her stillness, she teaches that the divine is not far away. It is not hidden in golden temples or distant skies. It is here in the breath. It is here in the pause between thoughts. It is here in the vast silence that holds every sound. To enter the desert is to enter this silence. To remain in it is to remember what was always near. The desert mothers did not seek to be remembered, yet their memory lingers. Their lives were like small lamps burning in hidden caves, flames unseen by many, but steady, steady, steady. And even now, their light continues to glow in stories told beneath the stars. For silence is never lost. It only waits. It waits beneath the noise, beneath the turning of days, beneath the restless wandering of thoughts. When one turns inward, silence opens like the desert sky. Vast, endless, full of quiet stars. Now the sands grow darker, as though sleep itself has settled upon the earth. The wind softens, the stars shimmer like gentle eyes watching from above. The desert mothers rest in their caves, their breath slow, their hearts calm. Their silence folds around you like a soft cloak, warm, protective, steady. You feel their peace as if it were your own, a peace that is simple, a peace that asks for nothing, a peace that is enough. Let the desert fade now into dream. Let the sands dissolve into quiet sleep. Let the prayers of the desert mothers drift like wind across your heart, soothing, unbroken, eternal. Now rest as the stars return. Rest as the silence deepens. Rest as the night holds you in its calm embrace. Let us drift onward, into stillness, into peace, into the quiet desert of dreams. The night begins as a veil of indigo spreads across the sky. The moon hangs like a silver lamp, steady and calm. Stars breathe their quiet light, scattered like grains of salt upon the dark cloth of the heavens. The air is still, carrying the scent of warm stone and the gentle hush of crickets. In this twilight hush you enter the world of dreams, a place where footsteps soften, where voices lower, where the spirit drifts lightly between realms. Here in the ancient lands stood temples not of noise and battle, but of sleep. They were known as temples of healing dreams. Within their walls, priestesses walked with lanterns of oil, their flames trembling like stars caught on earth. They moved with silence, as though their feet did not touch the stone, and in their hands they carried the wisdom of the night. They were the oracles of dreams. The temples rested often by rivers or springs. Water was thought to be a doorway, carrying messages between the waking and the unseen. By day, pilgrims approached the gates, weary from travel, seeking healing not of the body alone, but of the soul. By night, they lay upon mats of woven reed, eyes closed, hearts open, waiting for the visions that would rise like mist within their sleep. The priestesses were their guides. They tended the sacred fires. They burned incense of cedar, myrrh, and sweet herbs. The smoke lifted gently, curling upward in threads, weaving the air with fragrance that lulled the mind into quiet surrender. Their chants were soft, lower than the rustle of leaves, like ripples upon a still pond. Each note moved slowly, as if time itself had hushed to listen. It was believed that dreams were bridges, not random shadows of the mind, but messages born from spirit, ancestors, and gods. The Oracle of Dreams walked across this bridge with grace. She guided others, not with commands, but with stillness. Her presence alone was an anchor, calming the restless heart, opening it to receive. Imagine now the chamber of the dream temple. Stone walls rise around, cool to the touch. Torches flicker, their flame steady but dim. At the center lies a basin of water, its surface smooth as polished glass. Above, an opening to the sky allows moonlight to fall in a silver column. The air is warm, fragrant with incense, and alive with the hush of chanting. Here, pilgrims recline upon low couches, their bodies softened, their breathing deepened. The oracle moves among them. Her hands sprinkle drops of water upon their foreheads, cool as dew at dawn. Her voice hums a prayer, steady and low, a thread of sound weaving through silence. One by one, their eyes close, and they drift into the dream. In those dreams, visions unfolded. A pilgrim might see a bird rising on golden wings, its flight revealing freedom from old burdens. Another might see a river flowing clear, its waters washing away sorrow. Another still might see the face of a loved one, smiling, whole, at peace. Each vision was a gift. Not all were easy, not all were sweet, but each carried meaning. And in the morning, when light touched the temple once more, the priestesses listened. They listened not with haste but with patience. They helped pilgrims understand the symbols, as one might read the constellations of the sky. The Oracle of Dreams did not claim to own these visions. She was only a vessel, a lantern in the night. Through her devotion, she created the stillness where messages could arrive. Through her presence, the weary could find their way to peace. In Greece, these were called the temples of Asclepius. In Egypt, dreams were sought beside sacred lakes. Across lands, across ages, the pattern remained. Sleep was sacred and dreams were bridges. The women who served as guides honored this mystery. They did not force the dream. They only prepared the space, softened the air, and opened the gate. They believed that healing came not from outside, but from within. The body carried its own wisdom, the soul its own light. Dreams were the key that unlocked them. And so night after night, the priestesses tended their work, lighting the lamps, burning the incense, chanting softly until every heart was quiet enough to listen. Picture now the oracle herself, seated beside the basin of water. Her robe is simple, her hair bound loosely. Her eyes are half closed, reflecting the moon above. She is still as if carved from stone, yet her presence is gentle, alive. Her breath moves like the tide, slow, steady. With each breath, the chamber deepens in calm. With each pause, silence blooms. She places her hand above the water. The surface stirs, rippling under her touch. In those ripples, light shivers. It is said she could see the dreams even before they rose. But she did not speak of them quickly. She waited as the desert waits for rain. Patient, unhurried, sure. For dreams like seeds must open in their own time. The pilgrims slept. Their breaths rose and fell in gentle rhythm. The torches flickered, casting shadows like wings upon the walls. Outside, the night deepened. The river moved slowly, its voice hushed, its song unbroken. Above, the stars shone with quiet fire, guardians of the sleeping souls below. And in the heart of this stillness, the oracle watched. Not to control, not to intrude, only to protect the silence, to keep the doorway open. Through her presence, healing visions drifted like clouds across the dreams of the seekers. At dawn, the temple opened to soft light. The priestesses walked slowly, carrying jugs of fresh water, cups of warm milk, small bowls of fruit. The dreamers stirred, eyes blinking gently awake. They rose not with the rush of the world, but with the slowness of the sun rising over hills. Their faces glowed with quiet wonder, some with tears, some with soft smiles. The oracle listened as they shared. She nodded gently, sometimes offering a word, sometimes only silence. For silence itself was often the answer. The dream once spoken found its own place within the heart. Healing did not always need explanation. Sometimes it only needed to be honored, to be remembered, to be carried forward like a small flame in the hand. The wisdom of the oracle was not bound to stone walls or sacred temples. It lingered in the hearts of those who dreamed. It whispered in the rustle of trees, in the flowing of rivers, in the hush before dawn. It reminded all who listened that the divine speaks not only in thunder, but in whispers, not only in daylight, but in dreams. Even now, the ancient stories drift like incense across time. They remind us that sleep is holy, that dreams are not empty shadows, but windows, that healing may come in the quiet hours of night, when the world is hushed and the spirit is free to wander. And so, the night deepens once more. The temple grows still, the lamps dim, the chants soften until they are only echoes, then only memory. The oracle of dreams sits in her quiet place, eyes closed, her heart open. The moon glides above, steady, eternal. The stars shimmer like watchful eyes, keeping their gentle vigil. Here the air grows calm. Here the silence widens. Here you too drift upon the same current between waking and dreaming. Your body softens, your breath slows. Your spirit leans gently toward the doorway of rest. Now let the temple fade into darkness. Let the water of the basin still. Let the incense dissolve into the night air. The oracle of dreams is with you, holding the silence, guiding you into visions of peace. Rest now as the stars return. Rest now as the night enfolds you. Rest now as dreams open their gentle gates. Let us drift onward, into healing, into wonder, into the quiet realm of dreams. The night unfolds like a dark silk cloth spread across the earth. The stars glow like scattered embers, steady and unhurried. The moon drifts slowly, a pale guardian lantern hung high in the still sky. The wind is low, brushing softly through the reeds by a river's edge. Every sound is muted, wrapped in the hush of midnight. It is in such an hour that the secret rites once stirred, whispered rituals, held not in the glare of day, but under the tender gaze of the stars. They were not ceremonies for crowds. They were mysteries kept safe by the memory of divine women, the keepers of the hidden rites. Their sanctuaries were not always temples of stone. Sometimes they gathered in groves where olive trees leaned toward the sky. Sometimes by caves where water dripped from unseen springs. Sometimes in hidden chambers, deep within the folds of the earth. Always in places where silence lived. Always where the heart could rest. These keepers moved with patience. They carried no torches that flared too bright, but small lamps of oil, their flames gentle, their glow steady. The lamps lit their path only a few steps at a time, reminding them that the way is found little by little, never in haste. The air around them was heavy with the scent of herbs, rosemary, laurel, and sage, fragrance to cleanse the spirit. Smoke rose upward like soft ribbons, carrying prayers into the sky. The fire was not only heat, it was memory, it was transformation. It was the light that bridged this world with the eternal. The rituals they guarded were not of power or pride. They were songs of return, the mysteries of the seed that falls into darkness, only to rise again as green life. The mystery of the sun that sets, only to return with morning light. The mystery of the soul, which leaves for a time, but journeys back in another form. Through these rites, they remembered that nothing is ever lost. All things circle back, like rivers finding the sea, like seasons folding into one another. Birth and death, harvest and hunger, silence and song, each was part of the same great turning. And the women who guarded these truths spoke them not in loud voices, but in whispers. They knew that wisdom carried softly lasts longer than wisdom shouted. Imagine the circle they made in the night, a ring of figures robed in simple cloth, their faces calm, their eyes steady. Each carried a vessel of water shining with moonlight. Each vessel was placed upon the earth, forming a circle of silver reflections. Water was life. Water was memory. It remembered every drop of rain, every stream, every ocean wave. To them, the water carried the song of eternity. The women dipped their fingers into the vessels. They touched the earth, sprinkling drops upon the ground. They touched their foreheads, their hearts, their lips. With each touch they whispered words known only to them, words that carried the breath of those who came before. There was no rush, no urgency. Time in those circles moved like the tide, slow, steady, unbroken. Sometimes they sang, low, gentle songs that rose and fell like the murmur of distant waves. Sometimes they sat in silence, listening to the whisper of leaves, the heartbeat of the earth beneath their feet. The silence itself was a teacher. In silence they heard what the world often forgot. Among them were elder keepers, women who had carried the rites across many seasons. Their voices were quiet, yet when they spoke, the air itself seemed to lean closer. They taught through presence more than words, through patience more than instruction. They were the memory of the rites, the threads that tied past to present, present to future. And there were the younger ones, still learning, their eyes wide with reverence. They watched, they listened. They carried the flame forward, not as a burden, but as a gift. For the hidden rites were never possessions. They were living currents, moving from hand to hand, from voice to voice, from heart to heart. The mysteries they held were not written in books. They were carved into rhythm, into breath, into song. They were remembered in the weaving of cloth, the planting of seeds, the turning of seasons. They lived in gestures so small they seemed ordinary. The breaking of bread, the pouring of water, the offering of fruit beneath the moon. Each act was a quiet prayer. Each act was a thread in the great tapestry of return. It is said that some nights they spoke of the goddess hidden within all cycles. She who dies with the harvest, yet rises with the spring. She who sinks into the underworld, yet returns crowned with flowers. She who holds both the sorrow of endings and the joy of beginnings in her hands. Her face was the face of the moon, sometimes full, sometimes hidden, sometimes waning, sometimes new, yet always present even when unseen. Through her they remembered that absence is not emptiness, but only another part of the circle. Through her they trusted the dark, knowing the light would return. As their voices blended, the night grew soft around them. The stars shimmered more brightly, as if listening. The earth seemed to breathe with them, slow and deep. The trees leaned gently as though drawn closer by the rhythm of their song. Even the air itself carried a weight of calm, a cloak of stillness. And when the rite was complete, they did not rise quickly. They lingered, each in her own silence, holding the peace within. They let the night settle like dust, like dew. Only when the last ember faded, only when the last note of song dissolved, did they rise and walk back into the darkness. The rites they kept were not for display. They were not meant to dazzle or astonish. They were threads of remembrance held safe in quiet hands. Mysteries of rebirth, mysteries of harvest, mysteries of eternal return. Through these they carried the hope of the people. When the fields were empty, they remembered the fullness that would come. When loved ones departed, they remembered the reunion yet to be. When nights felt endless, they remembered the dawn already waiting beyond the horizon. And so the keepers of the hidden rites walked gently across the earth. They were not known by crown or throne. Their names were not carved into stone. Yet their presence lingered like fragrance, like the hush of evening, like the whisper of streams. Through their keeping, the mysteries endured. Through their care, the sacred was never lost. Now, as the night deepens, imagine yourself near their circle. The lamps glow softly. The air carries the fragrance of herbs. The ground beneath you is cool. The stars above endless. You hear the low hum of their song, rising and falling like waves. You feel the stillness gather around you, pressing gently like a warm blanket. Your breath slows. Your body softens. Your heart remembers the ancient truth that all things return, that nothing is lost, that silence itself is holy. The circle fades into darkness. The lamps dim. The song becomes only an echo, then only a memory. Yet its peace remains. It drifts with you now, holding you like a calm tide, rocking you deeper into rest. The keepers of the hidden rites stand watch in the silence. Their whispers linger like soft winds through trees. Their presence remains like the moon's glow across water. Now rest as their mystery folds around you. Rest as the earth holds you gently. Rest as the stars return above. Let us drift onward, into the circle of dreams, into the quiet rhythm of rebirth, into the endless embrace of night. The night stretches wide and endless. The stars drift quietly, scattered across the heavens like seeds in fertile soil. The moon moves slowly, her silver face calm and steady, a lantern that has never burned out. The air is still except for the faintest breath of wind brushing through branches and over sleeping waters. It is in such a night that the story of the Eternal Mother unfolds. Her presence is not bound to one land nor to one name. She is found in the voices of many peoples, in the prayers of countless generations. She is the heart of comfort, the endless care that cradles the world. Across the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, she was Ishtar, a goddess of life, of birth, of love and renewal. Her temples were filled with offerings of flowers and honey. She was both the rising star and the fertile earth. To her people turned when they longed for abundance, when they longed for care. In the fields of Greece, she was Demeter, mother of grain, guardian of the harvest. It was she who taught the people how to plant, how to reap, how to wait for the return of green. And when sorrow touched her heart, when her daughter was hidden in shadow, even the earth grew silent with her grief. Through her, people remembered that every sorrow finds its season, and every season carries the seed of return. In the stories of Israel, she was Miriam, later Mary, gentle mother of compassion, bearing tenderness like light within her hands. Her presence became a quiet shelter, a place where hearts in pain could rest. Songs were sung of her purity, prayers lifted to her for comfort. She was the figure who reminded the people that love can be as simple as an open hand, as steady as a mother's gaze. And in many other lands, she appeared in countless forms. In Egypt, as Isis, who carried her child across the river of time. In India, as Parvati, Lakshmi, Durga, different faces of one endless care. In the ancient Celtic groves, as Danu, mother of flowing waters. She was known by many names, yet always she was the same presence, the one who holds, who nurtures, who forgives, who renews. Her face changes, yet her essence remains. She is the breath at dawn. She is the quiet embrace at dusk. She is the gentle tide that carries all souls, without judgment, without haste. The Eternal Mother is not distant. She's not hidden beyond the stars. She is near, woven into the very rhythm of life, in the lullaby of wind through grass, in the warmth of a fire's glow, in the curve of arms around a child. Imagine her presence now. It is not loud, not overwhelming. It is like a soft cloak laid across your shoulders. It is like water cupped in your hands. It is like the hush that fills the air after prayer. Her love is not hurried. It is steady, like the turning of seasons. Her care is not measured. It is endless, like the stars above, too many to count. Her comfort is not fleeting. It rests within the heart, returning again and again like the tide. The ancients told stories of her because they knew that the world can be harsh. They knew hunger. They knew sorrow. They knew loss. And yet they also knew her presence. They felt her in the rhythm of birth, in the song of rivers, in the embrace of the earth itself. Through her, they learned that even in loss there is holding. Even in silence, there is care. Even in the cold of winter, there is the promise of spring. Picture a temple where her image stands. Not a grand palace of marble, but a quiet place lit with oil lamps. The air carries the scent of myrrh and roses. Women kneel in prayer, their hands folded, their lips whispering words of devotion. Children rest at the edge, their eyes heavy with sleep, their faces soft in the glow of the flame. The Eternal Mother does not demand gold or jewels. Her gift is already given, the gift of life, the gift of care, the gift of return. In some stories, she is the one who gathers souls after death, not as a judge, but as a mother welcoming her children home. She does not ask for perfection. She does not weigh or measure. She only opens her arms, and in her arms the weary find rest. In other stories, she is the seed within the soil, buried in silence, yet filled with new life. In time, she rises again, green and strong, feeding those who wait with patience. Through her, they learned that death is not an end, but a doorway. Through her, they trusted the cycle of return. Her voice is gentle. It is not the voice of command, but of song. It speaks in lullabies, in prayers whispered at night, in the hush that falls over a home at rest. Her words are not carved into stone. They are written in the heart, where they remain even when forgotten. She says, "Rest now." She says, "You are held." She says, "Nothing is lost." Her message is simple, yet it is enough to carry the world. Imagine yourself lying under the vast sky. The stars are scattered above you, each one a spark of her endless care. The moon rests overhead, glowing like her face, calm and constant. The earth beneath you is soft, like her arms, holding you steady. The air around you is warm, carrying her breath like a lullaby. You close your eyes, and you feel her presence. No demand, no expectation. Only care, only rest. Like a tide, her comfort flows into you, filling you with peace. Across time, across lands, across languages, she has never faded. Her names change, her stories shift, but her presence endures. She is the root beneath the tree, unseen yet strong. She is the flame that never burns out. She is the mother of all, the eternal embrace that cannot be broken. Even now in this quiet night, she is here, listening, holding, breathing with you. You are never outside her care. You are never beyond her embrace. The ancients whispered of her because they knew her truth. And that truth still flows like water through stone, like wind through reeds, like light across the dark sky. You do not need to seek her far away. She is already here, in your breath,
in your rest,
in the silence that deepens as you drift into sleep. Now the night grows still. The stars shine gently above, their light steady, unhurried. The moon drifts lower, her silver glow soft and kind. The earth breathes slowly and you breathe with it. The Eternal Mother surrounds you. Her love holds you like a cradle. Her presence rocks you like the sea. Her comfort softens every edge, calms every shadow. Rest now. You are safe. You are held. The Eternal Mother keeps watch. Her care is endless.
Her comfort is eternal. Now let us drift onward.
Into the quiet, into the peace, into the embrace of her eternal night.